So this is a bit different then, isn't it? That was terrible. Let's not do that. Hello, it's me, Tom, and this is a bit different because normally we're in game, but as you can see, no game in sight. I thought we'd try something new. You know, new game, FM21's out, new camera angle. Whenever I show his camera angle, actually, you guys always say how boring it looks. And I promise you, there are things on my walls. I've got some Lincoln City artwork on this one over here. I'm still waiting on some frames to come for like the shirt Football Manager sent me. That'll go on a wall, not that one, but a wall. And over here, I've got there's nothing on it, but it's on a wall. There is something there. Anyway, I'm digressing. You've read the title. You know what this video is all about. I am going to go through 10 of what I think are going to be the best Wonderkids in FM21. I've been looking through databases, I've been searching players, and I think I found 10 players that are not going to make it big just in Football Manager, but in real life this year as well. I normally do this, as in Wonderkid stuff, not circling my hands around like a weirdo, in December as an advent calendar. Last year though, didn't quite go so well. And I'm not sure if I finished it the year before that, so I'm going to do it differently, slightly differently this year, and see if you guys like this anymore. The way I'll do it is I'll rank it like 10 to 1, sort of go from 10th to the best one, essentially. Oldest player is going to be 20 at most. Anything older than 20 in-game isn't classed as a Wonderkid, so I won't class it as a Wonderkid either. I'm saying it as if it's like an alien or an animal, like them, the person. I'll be looking at players as well that maybe you've not come across before. Obviously, it would be easy to go for Jude Bellingham or Jadon Sancho or Delap or Camavinga because you guys know all about them. Ideally, this list, hopefully, most of them you may not have come across before, so hopefully it's shedding light on some new Wonderkids who are going to make it big in the game and in the real world this year. Fingers crossed if I'm a genius. So with that all being said, I don't think there's anything else I need to clarify with you, other than just make sure you do subscribe to the channel down below, and once you're down there, click that like button as well. Massively appreciate that. The more likes this video can get at the start of the FM21 life cycle, the better it does for my channel, the more we can grow, the more content we can produce. It's a win-win situation for everyone, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. But with all that being said, let's jump into it. Let's get this list out and see who I think is going to make it big. So in the number 10 spot then, we've got Ben Chrissen, who I think I'm saying correctly. I usually struggle with names in Football Manager, usually the ones that aren't English, but this guy is English and I'm struggling. So it's not a great start to the episode, is it? Either way, he plays for Aston Villa, 16 years old, and according to Football Manager, is a left winger or a left back. And the attributes, they don't really jump off the page and think, wow, this guy's going to be a Wonderkid. Yeah, he's got good determination, good decisions, good flair, decent physicals, good first touch, good technique. That's about all that's going for him right now. The reason I have included him though is because Aston Villa bought him off Exeter for £1.5 million. So clearly they see something in him and think he's going to be a great player. And I presume that Football Manager will think the same as well. So I reckon this guy's potential is going to be pretty decent. 6'1" as well. So he's obviously a bit of a unit. I think this guy could be decent. Did actually make an appearance for Exeter last season. So obviously at 15, 16 years old, they're starting him in a game at some point. Just one, but at least they started him. So they've clearly got potential on him. Watch out for him. Number 9 on the list then, and this is the player that you will not have heard of, unless of course you are a Watford fan, then you probably have heard of him, but Gabriel Torres is next on the list. He's a 17-year-old Guyanan footballer who's joining Watford in January from a club called Sefming. Sefming? Either way, he looks class. He's got 14 finishing, 14 first touch and 14 dribbling at the age of 17. You'll also notice 20 determination and 19 flair as well. I mean, this guy looks the real deal. Obviously, this guy might be a bit harder to get in your game given that he's not actually joined Watford yet, so he'll want to stay for a year or so at least on his contract before you can then sign him for probably quite a lot of money because he is really, really good at the start of the game. But at the same time, obviously, Miles Jacobson, who creates Football Manager, he's a Watford fan, so I don't know, maybe he stat padded him a little bit just to boost him up. He looks class though, so watch out for him. I think he's going to be a great player this year. Next up on the list is another striker, this time though Liam Delap, who plays for Man City. 17 years old, 12 dribbling, 13 finishing and 11 first touch. I like what I see there, obviously 17 years old, not quite as naturally gifted clearly as the previous guy, but he does look good. He's got some really good mentals across the board. His physicals are also pretty decent. And he's 6'2", so could be a target man. Obviously got good finishing, so could be more of an advanced forward or a complete forward. I think you can sort of train to do whatever you want by looking at his attributes. He doesn't seem to suit one particular style of striker. I think you could probably change him to do anything. I think the versatility, that's why he's one place higher than Torre from just before. And also he's at Man City, and obviously Man City like to keep hold of their assets, apart from Jadon Sancho, clearly. But look out for him. I see a big future for Liam Delap. Hopefully, he'll be scoring plenty of goals for England at some point, so fingers crossed for that. In the number 7 slot then is a name that you'll be familiar with if you're a long-time subscriber of the channel, Reny. A winger from Santos in Brazil, 16 years old. I signed him in my Leeds United save at the very end of FM20, and he was incredible. And I think he's probably going to get a bit of a boost this year in FM21. As you can see, at 16 years old, off the bat, 15 dribbling, 14 finishing, 14 first touch. I mean, he looks like a perfect inside forward. I think we use him as a winger in my save, but obviously crossing at 11 isn't that great in this at the moment. Although he's 16 years old. Don't forget that, Tom. He's 16 years old. 11 crossing at 16 is mad. So winger or an inside forward, he looks absolutely incredible. A little slow with 14 pace, I think, but obviously, remember, Tom, he's only 16. He will get faster. He'll get better at everything. I look at him and just think he's going to be incredible. So I'd recommend getting Reny, of course. I will say as well, for a lot of these players, you may need to make sure you have the leagues for these sort of players loaded up, or at least visible. If you just load up like the Premier League and just do a large database, a lot of the players from like South America just won't load up. So to get Reny, make sure you have like at least South American players visible in the game. Number 6 slot now, and we're going to be talking about Rayan Cherki. Now, I think a lot of you guys will probably have come across Rayan Cherki before. He was in the game last year and always ended up pretty good, but he's had a bit of a buff this year. He's 16 years old, a left wing. He can also play attacking midfielder as well. I do quite like his versatility, but predominantly a left winger with 15 dribbling, 12 finishing, 15 first touch. He's got 16 technique, 16 flair, 15 determination. The list goes on and on and on. Again, very similar to Reny. Just looks incredible. And he's only 16 and he looks incredible. He's only going to get better. That's the thing. All these players, you can look at them right now and think, this is slot straight into my team. You know, if you're doing a lower league save, for example, or even the champion, or even a Premier League save, you look at some of these players and think, yeah, these guys could slot straight into my squad. They're only 16. They're going to get so much better. He made 6 appearances for Lyon's first team last season at 16, maybe even 15, some of them. It's mental. That's how good he is already. So sign him up. Number 5, into the top half of the selection now. And I think this guy is new to the game. I don't believe he was in it last season. But centre midfielder has the best name in the world, PP. Unfortunately, he plays for Real Madrid, so it will be very difficult to get hold of him because I believe he will be a very good player in the future. But 16 years old, a centre midfielder with 15 dribbling. Like, that is good. You know you've got a good player on your hands at 15 dribbling, so it could be a pretty decent box-to-box midfielder, particularly with work rate of 12, which you can easily increase with tutoring, good teamwork as well. Natural fitness is very high, so I reckon this guy could make a very good box-to-box midfielder who likes to do a cheeky rainbow flick with his 16 flair as well. I've just noticed, though, his contract does end at the end of the very first season, so potentially, if he's not signed a new one by January, you could get this guy very cheap, i.e. on a free transfer with a bit of compensation because he's so young, but it would be worth it. Definitely worth the money because he'll be very expensive in 5 years' time. Number 4, and it wouldn't be a Wonderkid list without talking about PSG's Wonderkids. Now, they like to hoover them up, don't they? Always in game, they hoover up Wonderkids. This time, they've actually developed their own. As far as I'm aware, I think he's a PSG Academy prospect. Timothy Pembele is up next. He's 17 years old, a centre-back playing for PSG. He's 6 foot, but will grow a little bit. I'm sure that's in the game. They do grow. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Either way, at 17, he's got 14 heading, 14 tackling, really good physicals. Jumping reach of 11 could be a little bit better, but, you know, he's got time to grow and develop. His mentals across the board are pretty solid. Nothing hugely outstanding, but solid across the board as well. He's got good marking and good passing, so obviously he can train to be a ball-playing defender. That's kind of like the best defender, I think, a ball-playing defender. That's what I like, at least. And given that he is so young, you can develop him very quickly to be, you know, a good ball-playing defender with good passing and things like that. Issue is, he plays for PSG, and they will want a lot of money for him, obviously. So good luck with that one. Into the top 3 now, and in number 3, Yusuf Damir. an attacking midfielder slash right winger playing for SK Rapid Vienna in Austria. Now, I've not come across him before, but he looks pretty insane for 17 years old. Like, he's just got attributes in double figures everywhere. None of his attributes are standout other than that 17 determination, which is really high. You love to see that. But across the board, like, they're all at least 10 or above, and if they're not, they're very close to being 10 or above, and that just gives him a really good base level for you to sort of shape him, mould him, do what you want with him. And remember, he's 17 years old. Like, you can do what you want with this guy. He is going to be so good in the future. And because he's playing in Austria, I think he's going to get a lot of game time right off the bat as well. So expect him to develop quickly. Number 2 on the list is Thiago Almada. He is another attacking midfielder. You can see that I've got a preference for attacking midfielders so far. But we've chosen Thiago Almada. He is next on the list, and he plays for Vélez in Argentina. He's the oldest player on this list at 19 years old, but he does look incredible. He is a wonder kid. He's a perfectionist in his personality as well, so he trains hard, he does well. If anyone's going to reach their potential, it's probably going to be him because of that personality combined with a determination of 15. Like, it's really, really solid. In fact, all his mentals are pretty solid across the board. I think he's going to be a superstar, not just in game, but in real life. I think he might be the natural successor to Lionel Messi when he retires. Obviously not quite in that same ballpark as Messi, but he'll be the one that sort of takes over the position and might be that sort of talisman for Argentina going forward, at least in my opinion. But I will certainly try to sign him at some point because he does look tasty. So I recommend you do it too. And that takes us to number 1. Now, he was in the game last year and he was quite popular in the game, but he's had an upgrade. I think he's going to be incredible. I think this season in real life will be a bit of a breakthrough season for him as well. Obviously, Ansu Fati has had a bit of a breakthrough season so far. I don't think this guy will be far behind. It's Illax Maribe. I think he is one of the best players I've ever used in game. I had him in FM20 in an Arsenal save on stream, and he was just unplayable. I think he'll be the same this year. I don't think that many people know about him, given that he is so young. But for me, if you want a centre midfielder in this game, I think it's got to be Maribe. I mean, look at his attributes across the board. 17 years old. I mean, we said that Damir was good. This guy just puts Damir to shame, I think, by looking at some of his attributes. He is absolutely fantastic. Obviously come through Barcelona's academy, so he's naturally going to be really, really technically gifted. And I think mentally really strong as well, because obviously, you know, they teach their players to be mentally strong, you know, technically strong. But he's also very physically strong, as you can see. His physical attributes for a 17-year-old are insane. At 6'1" as well, he's no slouch. Will win headers in the middle. Will be up and down the park as a box-to-box midfielder if you want him to. Of course, he's got pretty decent vision, so can be a playmaker too. He's got everything you want. Like, I just can't sing his praises enough. Maribe's the man. And there you have it. That's my list of 10 best wonder kids that you may not have heard of yet in Football Manager. Of course, there's going to be other players, you know, like a Jadon Sancho, like a Jude Bellingham, like I mentioned earlier on, that might be better than some of them. In fact, they will be better than some of these players in this list, but everyone sort of knows them. I was aiming to sort of shed some light on some new guys that might be in the game for the first time or people might not have heard of too much. So if you agree, please do let me know in the comment section down below. But if you disagree, let me know down in the comment section as well. Tell me who you think is going to be a better wonder kid than the players that I've showcased in this video. Also, whilst you're down there, let me know what you think of this sort of video presentation style. I know it's very Zidane-like. I have taken a lot of inspiration from him with that sort of thing, but he's done well, so I may as well try it myself and see if I can do well too. But let me know either way. I'd love to hear your feedback and if this sort of thing is something that you'd like to see a bit more of going forward. Either way, thanks very much for watching. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.